All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all the glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokakwarash. With double honors unto my apostles and elders, a great millstone. Peace and safety to all the sincere Akim that's out here pushing this word in truth and in all sincerity. Shalom. All right. I want to do this lesson. So, give you a background on what inspired me to do this lesson. If you were in the spirit, and maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just me, maybe I'm not alone in this, but it's starting to feel very 2001-ish. All right. It's starting to feel like pre 9/11, if you understand what I'm saying, or not that, just in general, So I was just in that spirit. I've been in that spirit real heavy as of recently. So I just was doing some research yesterday. Now, again, me personally, I'm 35, right? I'll be 35 this year. All right. Next month, I'll be 35. So you're talking 20 years ago, right? Because this will be the 20th year anniversary since. So you're talking 20 years. I was 15. I was in high school. So I was just a mush brain teenager for the most part. You understand what I'm saying? Like what all teenagers were into at the time, shoes and clothes and going to parties and girls and sports, the typical shit, it's crazy out here. So I was doing some research. It's like, what was the main events? What was going on? What was the trending thing? What was the spirit of America 20 years ago from a different perspective? And I saw some really good, interesting points that mirrored the downturn of the economy. It's very similar. I could probably do several lessons on this from the different similarities of 20 years ago to today. And, when I looked up the word 20, I looked up that word 20 or the number 20 and the meaning of that number. And basically that number 20 is like a completion, it represents the completion of a task, not completion like 7 in a sense, but like a 20-year anniversary. That's a big deal, So it's feeling like they're everything from what like I said, I'm driving. All right, so I'm gonna tie in the point of what I'm getting to. Salaki, if it seems like I'm just rambling, but Biden. I was listening to a Biden speech the other day, and it sounded just like George W. Bush Jr. When he was addressing the nation after the attacks, and I'm like, yo, this is feeling like 2001 deja vu type joint, So fast forward to this article or these points that I was looking at. What the fuck are these people doing? Yo, these people have Satan on them, man. Okay, Salakia. In the article, the point was the internet. I wanted to focus in on the internet aspect. Like I said, there was a lot of points with the economy, but the internet was a great point that I wanted to focus in on. And you're probably seeing on the screen. I'll probably use in the editing. But I believe I'm driving, of course, but I believe that they said by the year 2000 or 2001 or whatever the year it was, that only about 45%, but not 50%, but under 50% for sure. I think it was like 42%. Which, of course, the picture when it's up, you're seeing the picture. I'm going off of what I saw in the picture, memory's sake, and that made me realize that Revelation 13 couldn't have came to pass in the year 2000 or 2000 because why? 444. The technology wasn't there yet. The elite, they believe in a thing called gradualism. All right. Now here's the kicker. Though. A lot of people get all choked up by the apostles saying or bringing out the fact that before the year 2000, it was taught that the salvation, the Yahweh Shai, was going to come in the year 2000, right? Now, I speak as a man. I speak as a man here, because first of all, the scriptures do say that that we would desire to see one of the days of the Son of Man, and shall not see it. And that's just one of those examples. Okay. Now, here's the kicker. If you really can tell, if you really take the chance and you sit down and you just study life pre the year 2000, pre the year 2001 for sure, right? The spirit of America's been circling the drain, man. It's been dead. All right. This is not the same. This place has been done. But the kicker is gradualism, and the fact that this place, it wasn't at a point yet. It wasn't there yet. See, I remember my first quote unquote conspiracy video that I saw in 2008. It was the spring of 2008, and it was the Aaron Russo video, right? Aaron Russo video talking about his conversation, right? And that this is what they were going to do. But you got to understand, they need the people stupid, and they've stupefied the people, but you gotta make it make sense, man. Like, people are stuck on PlayStation 5s and iPhone 12s as if this is great technology. You know, the technology has been there, but there's just been that social engineering aspect. Okay. All right. Now, again, back to the point. Like I said, this is about, again, Revelation 13 and 9. Or not Revelation 13 and 9, excuse me. Revelation 13 and, what is that, 15, 16, 17. Dealing with the MOTB. Again, it's getting, you can't be saying certain things. So that's why I said I didn't even read it. If you go read it your own time. Okay. But the point of it all is that you have to see that this thing had to build up, man. The stage had to be set. All right. That's what had to happen. Okay. Prophecy had to happen. So the Lord allowed another. But this is it, man. We in that time. All right. We're in that time in the spirit of it. I'm not saying it, in the next 3 weeks or 3 months. But I know for a fact in the spirit, we're in that time, because you can feel it, man. You can feel this is the same thing, and I'm trying, like I said, I'm not trying to deal with these marks just because, softies, man, and the words and shit. But follow me what I'm saying. When the last time, here it is, this attack in the airport over there in Afghanistan happened yesterday. Tell me the last time you heard of anybody who, so now suicide bombers are back. You understand what I'm trying to say? I'll just say it. Fuck it. Like, these are things that are like, man, we ain't heard of such acts in probably 5-10 plus years. So now this is back. Come on, man. This is all a reoccurrence. Ecclesiastes 1, there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. Okay? It's back to that. My reel was showing me a video of some Ishmaelite, I believe. All right. That was, and if you don't know who the Ishmaelites are, again, catch up. Okay. For real. The Ishmaelites are the so-called Arabs, man. Because it's going to get to a point, we're going to stop using these different words. We're going to call it like it is. And you just got to know what a Moabite, an Ammonite, that if you're not in the first few months of your walk, you should know what these things are at this point, man. All right. And he was in the airport and he was being harassed, that pull over to the side. And he was like, oh, and he was like, I know what this is. He was like, oh, 144. He's like, I know what this is. This is because of my, that bringing back that harassing brown people in the airport and beard spirit. You see, you fit the description. This is happening all over again. There is nothing new under the sun, and it's happening fast. Okay, so now I looked up recently, as of this year, how many people have internet access, not just period, but in their home. They say about 89 to 90% of all people in America have internet access in their home. You see how fast this thing took time. Gradualism. But see, the thing about it with gradualism is a snake, right? A snake gradually gets closer to you, and then he wraps himself around you. And if it's a python style snake, right, he begins to contract, and then as he contracts, he moves in to get better positioning, to contract better. But then there's a point where the contractions choke you out. He's just not playing with you. When a snake gets to that point and he's around his prey, he's not just trying to I'm just playing with you, that's just I'm giving you a hug, I can just stay here. No, it's quick, even though it's gradual. That's why I said I'm in my own spirit, just was meditating on the history of the last 20 years. We're 20 years since 9/11. That's a major thing. Now, a lot of Israelites, are young. That's why I said it's like, wow, this thing, 20 years have gone by. That's 20 years that have aged on Esau, 20 years of age on Jacob, 20 years on Ishmael, these other nations and their own agendas within this. So now this thing is about who can keep their troops rallied around what the hell happened. See, Esau's losing in this department because these Americans they don't have faith in this place. They don't have faith in the white man's agenda. Now, because of the labors, as the scriptures say, we have entered into the labors. What was that? 1 Corinthians, entered into the labors of the apostles. All right. Our apostles, they were teaching before September the 11th. Okay. They were teaching prior to that. They were dealing, they got what's the word I'm looking for? Persecuted behind teaching during that time period. You understand what I'm saying? So we have examples of men before us to guide us in the spirit of these things. That's strength. You don't think the same things happen over there in the Middle East with those Arabs and this is what's happening out here. It's everything has aged, but who has the youthful vigor to still hold on to that same feelings from then? And a lot of people don't. Even in Israel, a lot of people came and a lot of people gone. It's not a lot of people from that era in the knowledge of Israel, especially of the one Westers. All right. Now, like I said, internet. All right. The internet now is accessing damn near 90% of everybody in America has access to the internet, man. Okay. Now the scriptures say that the Lord said that for the elect's sake that he would shorten the days, man. And when you go to the book of Daniel, the 12th chapter, the scriptures say that knowledge shall increase, man. This thing is increasing to a point where the only thing left is Revelation 13, which is really that one of the final major prophecies in the Bible, Revelation the 13th chapter, because we're there. See, when you Jakes, the Billy Goat from one body and Yahushai and you other Jakes that try to go against this, you really in an old obsolete minded spirit. You're still thinking from a mind frame of 1998. You're still thinking from a mind frame of 2004, 2005. You don't see this world in a perspective of what has changed in 20 years for them to be able to push this agenda, because they've been wanting to put that thing in everybody. This is old. But when you really look at it, it's like they wanted to do this in the year 2000, but they couldn't have. How? How would they have been able to accomplish this in the year 2000, 2001, when 60% of the American population doesn't even have home internet? Cell phones. In 2000, I was reading this too, just, pop culture. That's how you can identify what's really going on too. And another point that was major in the year 2000, was the growth of cell phones. All right. The growth of cell phones. That was the beginning of that. See, it's all fine and dandy 20 years later in the year 2021 to just look at these things as if they've always been here and it's always been a normal thing, man. Understand, these cell phones is this is new. Even though most of us, like, you have a Generation Z, which is everybody that's like, what, 21 and under, about 20, 21, 20. Everybody born after like 90, after 2000, after 96, 2000, I want to say, is Gen Zs. Their whole life, they've had cell phones. You know what I mean? My generation, me, 35, right in the middle of it, in a sense, we were the ones that were in high school when we started getting our first cell phones. We were the first high schoolers that had their cell phones. You know, I had my first cell phone when I was in like the 10th, 11th grade. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of these kids nowadays have had a cell phone since they was 4 or 5 years. Okay? It's a different game. Because why? But back then it wasn't like that. That was the beginning of mobile phone growth in the year 2000. Fast forward to the year 2021. We can FaceTime. See, and I know I'm rambling, but I'm trying to, this is a historical rant. This ain't just a rant. It's a historical rant to show and prove that this is the time of Revelation 13. Because the technology wasn't there back then, but it's here today. Like I say, a lot of Jake that scoff at the idea of the CHIP being the MOTB are old, have old software in their body, man. They can't comprehend what is going on because they still are 8 tracks in a streaming world. They're 8-track players in a streaming world. And a lot of Jake is that way. But Esau had to get the masses of the people up to date. Okay, for a lot of Jake that's maybe younger, don't remember about during the Obama administration, Obama did 2 major things that doesn't get spoken on a lot. Everybody talks about the fact that him bailing out the businesses and the banks and so on and so forth, those hedge funds, right? But people don't speak about the 2 other things he did to push things forward. That was the clunkers, okay? The clunkers stimulus, if you want to call it, where if you had a car that was over the certain age point, you could bring it to him or bring it to your junkyard. They would junk it and they give you a tax credit. So for anybody that's wondering, what the hell does that have to do with moving time forward? Look at all your cars that's out here. There's not, now are there a lot of used cars out here? Absolutely. But imagine if that didn't happen. You would still have a lot of older base cars that were out here on the market. It's to the point now because of Biden and the U.S. government by the year 2035, as they say, which we know is bullshit, but I'm just saying what the scientists are saying, all right, that they're going to cut off making cars with gas. That's why all your public, like for instance down here in a lot of your grocery store parking lots, they have, you know, your car chargers. You can park your car and charge it while you go shopping, and they're adding more because that's where this place is going. So Obama and his clunkers car thing, that helped that got a lot of these cars off the road. That's why now all your cars, you gotta read codes and shit. Cars are basically computers, all right? Especially these newer ones. Shit, man, if you don't know, I did a video on that a while ago. On page got taken down, but on my last page about the 2022 Mercedes S-Class, their flagship car. That thing is a computer, man. All right. Now, the next thing he did, the clunkers, and then the next thing he did was what was I just lost my thought. It wasn't the bailout, it was the clunkers, and I say how he moved time forward with these things. Salaki, I lost my train of thought because he forced people from analog to digital. That was a major thing. See, I wasn't in the truth yet when that happened. But even then, see, I wasn't in the truth of the Bible, like I wasn't teaching. But at that time, at this point, 2008, 2009, I was, you know, this is you're talking about 5, 6, 7 years after 9/11. I'm on my path of seeking truth, you know. So when these things were happening, it was like, what the hell is this? So Obama, he put it out there. That's why you don't have, you can't really buy TVs no more with bunny ears, as we used to call it, or as it was called, antennas, because that's typically an analog setting. That's why they started coming into your houses now, and they put the cable auxiliaries in the walls. See, that wasn't a thing before Obama did that. And they were going to stop. And remember, if you can remember, now think about it. We don't even use cable boxes no more. That's why the scriptures say in Proverbs, how long will you simple ones love simplicity? Because at the end of the day, this thing is moving fast. And matter of fact, I got a better word. What's the opposite of being simple? Advance. This thing is advancing fast, as Daniel prophesied, that knowledge would increase. You got to keep up. That's why I said sometimes you got to go back and revisit your own life and see what was going on during that time period. What was really going on during the early 2000s? I was a child. I was 14 in the year 2000. Just now starting high school. I was a 9th grader. 10th grade when 9/11 occurred. All right? Shit, we got brothers in our camp that I don't even think were born when 9/11 occurred. You understand what I'm saying? So these things, these points are major American history that hit us all differently, but nevertheless, the agenda is the same. And that's why I say the internet, I'm gonna close up here. Psalms, the 19th chapter, had to come to pass or be fulfilled as well. That unicorn, that the word being going out through the firmaments all day, every day. See, that wasn't happening in the year 2000. See, the internet had to develop to a point to be able to blow up, have YouTube, have this. That was another bust during the early 2000s. The dot-com bust, the technology bust, because it was the beginning phases of dot-coms. See, now it ain't nothing to go on GoDaddy.com and get you a website, But I'm gonna go ahead and close this up. I just wanted to speak in the spirit dealing with these points. The internet, man, the internet of things, man. It took 20 years to get it to the point that we're at. There's Wi-Fi everywhere. There's 5G towers everywhere to be able to have have the Wi-Fi everywhere. Okay. So with that, I'm going to close up. I'm going to give all the glory and honor to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakakwadash. And until next time, Shalom.